They went ahead and put it all on the line. A round of applause to both Terence "Bud" Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. for providing us an unbelievable night of boxing here in Las Vegas. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now I want to bring up, he is the first male boxer to be undisputed champion in 2 divisions. For the first time in the 4-belt era, there is an undisputed welterweight champion of the world. This man, 40 wins, no losses. He remains undefeated here tonight. The best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, from Omaha, Nebraska, we present to you Terence "Bud" Crawford, ladies and gentlemen. Terence, as we are literally moments removed from your mesmerizing performance, what does this mean for you? I mean, you're the first male boxer, you made history, undisputed in not 1 but 2 divisions.
Like I said before, you know, this meant everything to me. I wanted to give honor to God for blessing me to be here, to be able to perform in front of each and every one of y'all. And that's pretty much it. I wanted to thank Errol Spence and his team for me and him coming together and getting this fight underway. This is a fight that everybody wanted to see. The whole world was talking about it, and we put on a great show.
All right, at this time, I'm going to turn it over to questions for Terence "Bud" Crawford. If you have questions, raise your hand.
Terence, Andreas here from the Sporting News. Just talked to Errol. He said he hopes to get the rematch, and he would like to have the rematch at 154 pounds. Are you interested in moving up in weight for the rematch, or does it have to be at 47?
Definitely don't have to be at 47. Like I said, you know, I'm in a hurt business. 47 was kind of hard for me too. I was already talking about this challenging Charlo, so 54 wouldn't be outreach of anything.
Want to follow up with, how did you pull off getting Eminem to walk you out tonight?
I don't know. It was just throw a rock in a haystack, and he replied, and you know, I told him to pull up, and he was like, "I'm there. You're one of my favorite fighters." You know, that showed, you know, a lot of support for me, and that showed what level I'm at in the boxing world.
Last question. Naoya Inoue was considered the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world after his performance on Tuesday. Do you think you definitively put a stamp on you as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world after this performance?
Without a doubt. Like I told everybody once before, the winner out of this fight was going to be #1 pound-for-pound, hands down. You got Errol Spence was ranked #4 in the pound-for-pound, and you got Terence Crawford that was ranked #1. So you got 2 fighters that's in the top 5 pound-for-pound ratings in training camp, and I worked my ass off to get to where I'm at today to perform in front of each and every one of y'all. I even did things that was different this fight. You know, we did a pre-camp, came out to Vegas, stayed for a month, you know, so I've been working for a long time for just this one moment, so it's never easy.
At which point in the fight did you realize that he wasn't going to be able to do anything with you tonight?
Well, the first round, I felt as if I had the speed and power. I felt, you know, his power, and I felt as if I was the stronger fighter. And yeah, that pretty much was it.
Andrew Jones, ESPN, Anscape. Terence and your team, congratulations on a special night. Roy Jones Jr. told me yesterday that if you won this fight, that you'll be up there as one of the all-time best pound for pound. You talked about Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather era, now your era. Where do you rank yourself all-time, pound for pound, after tonight?
Well, I'm up there. You know what I mean? Like, I always want to pay homage to the fighters that came before me, you know, because without them, there'd be no me. Wherever they want to put me, you know, I'm up there, you know. It ain't my job to put me where I want to be. It's your job to put me where I belong.
And who came up with the fishnet idea to walk out, and what you told your mom when you were celebrating with her in the ring and giving her a birthday present that you wanted her to give her?
No, that's all so cold. Like I said, so cold. Everything. He came up with the idea. He said, man, I got you, bro. He designed my last outfit. And I told him, I said, man, that was one of the coldest outfits that I had. And he said, wait till you see this one. I said, oh, all right. And, you know, his creativeness, you know, brought to life along with Everlast. And then you got what you got.
Terence, Kevin Ioli from Yahoo Sports. Congratulations on the brilliant performance. I wonder, when you were with Top Rank, there were many years there would be fights on Fox or Showtime, and they would list top welterweights. I guess it was more Fox. They would list top welterweights, and you weren't even on there a lot of the time, and a lot of fans would get upset about that. Do you feel like now when you look back, like, do you feel some sense of vindication that people who overlooked you for so long now, you're at the top of the heap and there's no doubt?
Well, I've been telling each and every one of y'all for years. A lot of y'all over here looking sad. Ellie, you looking like a retarded ass dude over there because you was going against me. You know what I mean? But all in all, you know, I get to say I told y'all. Because I've been asking for these fights for years. And y'all been saying, oh, he's too small. He's going to get this. He's going to get broken. And each and every time that I step up, I proved y'all wrong. Each time. So, you know what I mean? Write some great stories about Terence Crawford. Don't hate on him. Don't say nothing negative. Just give me my props.
The other question I wanted to ask, if you could comment about your trainer and the job he did. And Bomac, if you could make a comment about what it feels like for you to win a fight at this level against a guy who is highly respected.
Yo, what's going on? How you guys been? Let's see here. Chris Eubank Jr. looked really good. Like, really, really good. There's Bomac, trainer of the year. Might as well crown him, right? Might as well crown him.
Year before last, trainer of the year. And, you know, they never really get to honor.
Crown
well,
Bomac
I just look
now.
at it like this, man. I just look at all the training that we put in, all the months that we put in, and I wasn't never worried. And as far as going up against Derrick James, it's an honor. It's an honor. He's it was last year or year before last, trainer of the year, and you know, they never really gave us our props. You know, the writers, the reporters, you know, all this, you know, all the websites. So, I mean, I'm just glad. You know, it hasn't sunk in yet, but it will here pretty soon. To me, I just look at it like it's another day, you know. And you also got to give props out to the whole team. You got Saul Dieguez right here. You got Red Spike. Come on, we're up here, Red. You got Bernie the boxer. You even got.
All right, so anyway, this is my first live stream here on a Saturday night in some time. Now, I want to tell you guys a story. Let's chew the fat a little bit before everybody starts showing up. My channel was suspended from May until like July the 31st, or like July the 30th, like 1 or 2 days after Terence Crawford, Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. So that means no advertisements, no YouTube pushing your content through the algorithm. So my channel is a baby again. I just got remonetized about 3 weeks ago, about 3.5 weeks ago or so, because once you get once your demonetization is over, then you got to reapply to YouTube for the partner program. That takes about another week or two. I think it took me about a week. So basically, my channel's fresh and clean again. Removed a lot of content. We're back. So for those who have been wondering why he ain't been producing no content, it's like I would have been working for free. And honestly, I had a very, very good summer. One of the best summers I ever had in my life, okay? Like, since I was a little-ass boy. And I capped it off with a trip to Texas this past weekend. So, a nigga is broke. Looking at the boxing schedule, we gonna, you know, get back to the old days. we gotta get some content out. But what I did accomplish was I did get my other channel monetized, TstreeT Uncut. I'll pull it up here on the screen because people keep asking me about it. So I got 2 channels, both in the YouTube partner program. So it's wise practice that if you have a successful YouTube channel like mine, if you have a channel that has 1,000 subscribers, 10,000, 20, 30, it's a good idea to have a secondary channel. Trust me, I learned the hard way. And to have them like moving where they're both generating revenue to where if you get into trouble on one channel, you can be like, all right, listen, I'm going to be over here. You know what I'm saying? Why shit is getting worked out over here. So here's my other channel right here is TstreeT Uncut, as you can see. So I've been primarily working from over here, just covering the mainstream fights, but no real like build-up content except for Spence Crawford. You know, I went all in on this, and then boom, watch this. I had a very successful night covering the fight. We went live after the fight. We were live during the fight. And very successful night. So now that I'm out of Schitt's Creek, we're back producing content. So where do we begin? I sat here and I watched the entire card of Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Smith versus Chris Eubank Jr. too. What I didn't expect, and I don't know if it's because I was like excited to cover boxing again. What I didn't expect was like, hey, that was a pretty good card. Mikaela looked pretty good. Florian Marku opened up the card, you know, with a quick knockout of forgot the doggone name, Dylan Moran. Frazier Clark broke Dave Allen's ear. Dave Allen, low blows. Not really impressed with Frazier Clark. I don't think he's really that good personally. I don't see anything special. Like when I'm like, hey, you know, like dude's gonna be good. Like I saw something special in Tyson Fury. I saw something special in Anthony Joshua. I saw something special in Alexander Usyk. And Clark is a 32-year-old man with just 8 professional fights. So I'm just like, huh. And then the Fabio Wardley bullshit with the purse bid and the politics involved, that just turned me completely off. But overall, Eubank Jr. is the man of the hour. That's who we need to be talking about because dude looked pretty good, stopping Liam Smith in 10 rounds. Liam Smith here, watch this right here. Watch this right here. What do you guys think this is? What is it? What do y'all think this is? What do y'all think is going on here? What's going on here? This is from some footage, some tape from Dan Canobilo. Bio. Sorry, butchered your name. But I've seen him do this when he fought Canelo and Max Kellerman brought it up. It was like, you know, he keep doing this weird thing where he's rolling his ankle. Like, how does that even happen? So do you think the reason why he looked like shit is because his ankles? Or do you think that he just fought like every now and then Beefy can fight? I've seen him fight like that before. You know, it's not like he was some like super elite boxer or high level pressure fighter power puncher. And if you look at it, Chris Eubank Jr. made the necessary adjustments. Jab was beautiful. Body shots broke him down. You know, the uppercut, as soon as he would lean in. You know, then whenever he would get him on the ropes, he would start letting go. However, a lot of that shit when he was on the ropes was missing. Was missing. But no, dude looked sharp. He looked sharp. He looked sharp. And for those who don't know, he's training now with Bo-Mac Brian McIntyre, the trainer of now two-time undisputed champion Terence Bud Crawford. And Jermell Herring, his first fight with Bo-Mac, looked good like that too. By the way, whatever happened to Adam Smith? Remember him? He just disappeared for like a year. Dude just fell off the face of the earth. But you follow me on Twitter. It's my Twitter right here. But I got to be honest, a third fight, I don't want to see it. I'm not really down with a third fight. I mean, it is 1-1. Yeah, Liam Smith did knock Eubank Jr. the fuck out in the first fight. But the way this fight went, this was domination. This was clear domination. Ankles are not. Like, do you really want to see a third fight? I mean, I'm guessing they're going to, you know, I guess you got to do it. And by the way, what's going on with this gimmick boxing going on over in the UK right now? With Chris Eubank Jr. wanting to fight Conor Benn, whose name still ain't been cleared yet. You would think he would want to stay away from an alleged cheat. Kell Brook is like a part-time, basically exhibition fighter. And then he called out Golovkin and said he said something along the lines of, I can pull it up on ESPN Plus. Duh. Tripping. I'm going to pull up the tape. So he called out Golovkin, but he ain't no Golovkin, don't have no belts. But the 160-pound division is shit. That shit is dead. You got, let me show you this shit right here. This is going to fuck your head up for those who don't know. This is, goddamn. This is the 160-pound division. Look at this shit. Now, I was combing through my emails today. You know, all the press releases. I haven't been in my boxing email. You want to see my boxing email? I'm going to show you this shit. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. This is my boxing email. I'm going to show you this shit. So anyway, I'm like, I heard about it a few weeks ago, but I was like, nah, I don't believe this fucking shit, man. Look at this shit. Look at my boxing email. Let me make sure there's no sensitive information. But look at all these motherfuckers. 27,000, bro. Like, look, fucking, it's a mess in there. It's a mess. So anyway, when I seen this, I'm like, I know Vincenzo Gualtieri. I covered him. Like, look at this. You see this? He beat Esquiva Falco for the vacant belt, Golovkin's belt. Anyway, this is the IBF champion. Did you know about this? I didn't cover it. I thought I did. Did you know about this? Why is everything so fucking bright? I've been covering boxing since 1 o'clock this afternoon. Straight. You got Janjabek Alimhanallah. I only learned how to pronounce his name correctly from Mark Chinook, who's grown on me, by the way. So they're fighting. If this isn't one of the nastiest unification fights I've ever seen in my life, they're unifying the WBO and the IBF titles next month. So you got these two unifying. You got Erislandy Lara and Danny Garcia waiting for a date from PBC. They're trying to put that shit on pay-per-view. It'll be at a catchweight of 155 pounds. Mick Zarafa is on the undercard only because he took a step-aside deal for Lara and Danny Garcia to fight. Ill. Danny Garcia's been there for a while in the WBA rankings. And then you got Jermell Charlo. He need to just give that belt to Carlos Adames because he can't come back and fight nobody until he fight that white man that smacked him in his face. Caleb Plant. You can't come back to no tune-up. You got to fight the guy who smacked you. I don't want to hear nothing. Like, I'm going to listen. If he come back and don't fight Caleb Plant and fight some bull, listen, I'm not trying to hear it. But as you can see, the 160-pound division, it's in shambles. It's in shambles. So, getting back to my point, I was pulling up ESPN Plus. Getting back to my point, Chris Eubank Jr. called out Golovkin and said he want Golovkin belts. And it's like, mate, where have you been, mate? You're fighting in a division. Here, let me see. I can't stand this. I don't like this interface here. I do not like it. They got to fix it. I did watch UFC, though, too, at the same time. The main event ended in round number 1 of this fight. They're going to make me go all the way to... We're going to listen to the post-fight interview. They're going to make me go all the way to the... Luckily, I got this brand new computer I got last year for Christmas. So all my shit is fast now. Let's go all the way to the end. But, we'll listen to the post-fight interview. I can't show it, obviously. That's copyright. But we can listen to it.
As a fighter, there's almost nothing more satisfying than executing a brilliant fight.
Without any doubt.
Hold on, let me fast forward.
Congratulations, a wounded animal is a dangerous animal. In this very ring, back in January, your career looked to be over at this level. To do that tonight, in those circumstances, can you try and put that into words for us? It is revenge.
It had to be. I had no other choice. There's too many other big fights out there for me that the fans want to see, that I want to be involved in. I had to beat Liam tonight. I threw so many punches, the lettering on my shorts fell off. It's incredible. But yeah, listen, Liam is a warrior. I respect him. I respect his whole team and his family and his brothers. They always come out. They always put it all on the line. He didn't give up. He fought to the last into the last second. So yeah, big up to Liam and his team.
Are you able to pinpoint why you were so much better than you were tonight compared to January?
Listen, I'm not going to lie. That was what happened tonight was supposed to happen in January. But like I said, it wasn't my night. I trained hard for that fight. I trained hard for this fight. The focus is always there. I dedicate my life to this sport. And yeah, now we're on to bigger and better fights. There's some big names out there. I see a few of these guys in the crowd. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Conor. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Kel. I'm coming for you.
Kel may like that. Be careful. Be careful, Chris.
Anybody else who wants it, we're going to put on a show for the fans, that's for sure.
Whether or not you'll concede it, it just seemed that you were different this week. You were different on the ring walk. You were different from the first bell. Ronnie Davis just said off camera there, the weight had a lot to do with it. Would you concede that you did the weight better this time, that was a factor?
No, the weight had nothing to do with it. My mindset didn't really have anything to do with it either. I'm always focused. It just wasn't my night that night, and I had to prove to the fans and to the boxing public that I am who I say I am. I'm not a pretender. I'm not a fake. I do the things I say I'm going to do. And I'm not really a bad guy either. I know I got booed in here. There's a couple of cheers now, which I appreciate. I'm turning a few people around on the journey, but we still got a long way to go.
I think that's a British boxing crowd. If you get booed in and you perform, you get cheered out. May I ask you about the changes within the team? Big team, they're all surrounding me now. Behind the scenes, I
don't like this shit here either. It's like he was trying not to give his team a shout out. It's like, come on, mate, it ain't costing you nothing. And yes, I remember Octane. I covered that fight. Yes, they was trying to set up Eubank versus Jermell Charlo at one point in time.
The fact that you changed your regime, changed the personnel, but getting up at 8, nutritionists, things like that, they must have had a factor.
They all add percentages. And what I've learned over the years is that you have to take every percentage you can. There's some tough men out there in the sport, and they have all hands on deck. So if you don't have the same, you're at a disadvantage, and we're not doing that anymore.
the nature of this sport. Back in January, your career was almost over. Now you're in the position to call for big fights. So if I pushed you for your future, what would you say?
Listen, I want to fight Triple G. I don't know where he is right now, but wherever you are, Kennedy, you know, you've been holding on to them belts for too long. I want to take one, so let's get that on if we can.
Golovkin has no belts.
100%.
Well done to you. Congratulations. Tonight is your night. Thank you very much for talking to us.
Yeah, as we talked about earlier, for those who are just getting here, Golovkin has no belts. Okay? The first to go was, if I'm correct, the first to go of his 160-pound titles was the IBF as soon as he stepped into the ring with Canelo at 168. Then the WBA. So as you can see, Janjabek Alimhanallah is the WBO champion. Vincenzo Gulatieri, he's the IBF champion at 160 pounds. Erislandy Lara, long time. You know, Erislandy Lara's been around forever. I was in college, okay? I'm a 40-year-old man now. I was in college when Erislandy Lara was on Fight Night Round 2. We was playing on PlayStation 2. We on PS fucking 5. Oh my God, boxing is fucking weird, man. This guy's been around forever. Oh, y'all want to see his resume? Y'all don't want to see his resume, bro. Y'all don't want to see his resume. I'm going to show you his resume. I'm going to show you his resume. Look at this shit, man. He been around so long. Remember, he was on HBO Boxing After Dark. HBO been dead and gone like 5 years now. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm sorry, my headset went off, bro. Like, look at this. Remember the Carlos Molina and the Paul Williams fight? That was in 2011. Look what he been doing. Venice Martirosyan. Okay, let's start after Canelo. Ishe Smith, Delvin Rodriguez, Jan Zivek. This fight was on ESPN, and it was raining. It was empty fucking beach chairs. No bullshit. In like the front row. Horrible. In fact, he killed 2 networks. He was the last fight. Erislandy Lara versus Jan Zivek was the last fight of PBC on ESPN. He fought Venice Martirosyan in a rematch that took too long. Yuri Foreman had a bum-ass knee. By the way, when he fought Yuri Foreman was the last fight of PBC on Spike TV. So he killed the PBC on ESPN deal, and then he killed the PBC on Spike deal. No bullshit. He was the last fight on each of those networks. Terrell Goucher, Gerald Swift Heard, I cool. Brian Castaño, I cool. But that was 2019. Canelo's brother. He fought Canelo's brother. Ramon Alvarez, Greg Vendetti, Thomas Lamana, and Gary Spike O'Sullivan in 2022. My gosh. My gosh. Horrible. Horrible. Anyway, he's supposed to be fighting Danny Garcia at a catch weight of 155 pounds on pay-per-view. On pay-per-view. So what was I looking for? Oh, we was talking about the 160-pound division. So I guess what I'm saying is when you look at the division, where's my rankings go? When you look at the division, Chris Eubank Jr. may finally be able to win a world title. And because he's with Boxer right now, Wasserman is his promoter. They bounce between Matchroom and Boxer, but basically he can fight. He's a network free agent pretty much. So he can fight the winner of Gulatieri versus Alimhanallah. That's going to be taking place on October the 14th in the Fort Bend Community Center in Rosenberg. What the hell is that? And the main event of Top Rank on ESPN. What the hell is that at? Hold on. It's in Texas. All right. All right. Okay. Well, I think Eubank Jr. should try to go after a title, but it looks like he's going after paydays. You can't blame him, right? You know, you can't really blame him. You can't really blame him. But the Kell Brook fight, I mean, I would entertain it. I'm not, like, against it. But if the Kell Brook fight was announced, I'm going to be like, oh, he fighting Kell Brook? All right. You know, I would probably pick Kell Brook to beat him. I'm a Kell Brook guy. Minus the chocolate brownies and whatever happened at Tenerife. But overall, Eubank Jr. looks good. He looked world class tonight. He had all the tools. He had the jab, the body shots. I thought that eventually Liam Smith was going to take a knee. Them body shots were sticking. He didn't gas out. He looked healthy at the weight. Remember, he was supposed to fight Conor Benn at a catch weight of what? Was that 156 or was it 158? I think it was 158. Something like that. Let's go see what's going on. Did they have a post-fight press conference for my man Eubank Jr.? Let's see here. You know who's an asshole? Well, I'm going to tell you. So, I'm at Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez Fight Week press conference. Sick as a dog. That's when we had the bad air quality in New York where, like, everything was orange. So we're breathing that shit in. I'm a known asthmatic. Long story short, that Gareth Davies dude, man, he's something else. Is he on drugs? Let's see what he had to say. He had talked to Eubank Jr. after the fight for Talk Sports. Let's see what he had to say. Let's see what he had to say. Like, he was just obnoxious. So he'd be bumping into you and shit. Don't be saying, like, excuse me. You know, just like, I don't, you know. That's why I don't like going to a lot of that shit, man. The media scrums, people just lose their manners. They turn into animals.
Chris, what an amazing performance tonight. Thank you for talking to us for TalkSport. I know
How did you get into this ring?
I bypassed security with my blue shades on.
The sneakiest guy in
He is sneaky. He's sneaky as fuck. There you go. I'm glad Chris called him out.
I bypassed security with my blue shades on.
The sneakiest guy in journalism, I swear. But you've earned this very rare interview. I don't do interviews in the ring with anybody, but you've got up here. If you don't ask, you don't get. So let's do it. What do you want to know?
How amazing did that feel tonight to right the wrongs?
Listen, I knew I always had that in me. It was my back was against the wall. I had no other option but to go out there and put it all on the line, do or die. I said it before, and it's the truth. You know, if you put me in a situation like that, I'm going to come out on top. I have to.
There are times when you've rested in fights before because you're so comfortable in the ring. Your focus was extraordinary tonight. Is that one of the best performances you can ever remember in your career?
One of them, you know, especially coming off of the back of a defeat like I had last time. The bar was low. You know, people saying I'm shot, people saying I'm too old, people saying I have too much money, I don't want to be in the sport anymore, I'm not dedicated, Roy Jones is messing me up, I switch trainers too much, I play poker too much, you know, I talk to too many girls. The list goes on.
That shit.
The fact of the matter is, my life is boxing. I'm in the gym every day, even when I'm not in fight camp. And that's how I can put on performances like that.
World title coming up, Conor Benn coming up. What do you want to do afterwards?
Listen, I want to do whatever the fans want to see. There's some huge names out there, some big opportunities, world titles, big fights. It's all on the table.
Congratulations, we appreciate you.
Do we really? Hold on, my Chinese is on the way. All right, my Chinese is going to be here between 9:18 and 9:28. All right, cool. All right, so listen. Honestly, me personally, I mean, you know, I don't know how intrigued I am about Kell Brook versus Eubank Jr. over him fighting for a title, you know, against Alim Halala, because despite Alim Halala has no name, nobody really gives a fuck about his career, honestly. He has no real marketability. That's the truth. But it's a skillful fight, but at the same time, I don't see nobody calling for it. I don't see nobody saying, yo, Chris Eubank Jr. should go for a title. The Kell Brook fight, hold on. I think they got a small little interview with them, too. Oh, shit, look at them chilling. Let's see what they had to say. Let's see what they had to say. Never thought I'd see them two chilling, right? Amir Khan made some allegations about Kell Brook in the past. Made to do some thinking.
Have you two had a cup of tea together yet?
Had a cup of coffee, yeah, but we're here.
Soon be here together, man. Yeah, man.
We've come to support the boxing fans here tonight.
I think forget about us. I mean, it's about supporting the next generation, and obviously, well, it's great to see Kell. I think it's the first time I've seen him since.
He thought it was 3 years ago that you fought. It was last year, wasn't it?
2 years.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
Was it really? Listen, I'm getting old. I can't help.
I don't want to hear that.
I'm done, man. I'm done. No comeback. No comeback. I mean,
you know, we're here with the spectating tonight. That's it.
Well, while Amir's here, probably going to mention a comeback in a minute as well.
Oh man, I'm done. I'm done, man. I'm done. No comeback. No comeback. I mean, I just feel that it was the right time for me to call it a day, obviously, and move on to other things, you know. I'm busy with my life, and yeah.
I've got to say, seeing you with Paul...
I thought they were going to talk about Eubank Jr. So anyway, I'm guessing if they would do a rematch for a third fight, I'm not interested, but I'm sure there's some certain parties that would say, okay, well, it's 1-1 now. But now that we know that Chris Eubank Jr. has the ability to outbox and dominate if he wants to Liam Smith, then for me, that takes away from the appeal of a third fight. Yes, Liam Smith will have a puncher's chance, and maybe he did have an ankle injury or whatever the case may be. For example, listen to this. Let's listen to his post-fight interview.
Liam Smith will give us a few words, Liam. I don't want to keep...
But excuses are excuses, you know?
you too long. What went wrong in there tonight?
Just everything, from start to finish. I feel I was just flat from the start. I think the weight killed me a little bit. After the injury, I was just flat from the get-go, and kids were sharp, so it was just, that's it. That's all I can really say about it, really.
You probably won't concede it, and I might be able to drag it out of you, but you seem to have some balance issues tonight and went over on those ankles a couple of times.
I couldn't move my feet, and then when I did move my feet back, I rolled my ankle. I've got dodgy ankles anyway, haven't I? So, like, it's just fucking one of them things, but no.
Ankles is dodgy as fuck. Dodgy as ankles. I never heard that.
Tonight, after I shout when I win, I'll take my defeat when I lose.
What do you want to do next? I mean, that makes it 1-1.
Yeah, of course, obviously. I think everyone knows. I think Chris knows how I was with the weight. You know, to say it at the weigh-in, and you know, after the injury, I come down 3 stone. So it's a lot of weight to shift in a short space of time. But that's all I can put my finger on. You know, I was flat. So.
See, when you say stuff like that, it's like, you know, I got injured and I put on all this weight, you know, then I had to come down. That's your fault. Don't bitch to me about, like, you know, damn, I put on too much weight, you know, so that's why I look like shit tonight. Like, bro, come on, you're better than this.
You know, flat as they come after the injury.
1.
Yeah, just
get out of you, but
after the injury, I was just flat from the get-go, and kids were sharp, so it was just that's it. That's all I can really say about it, really.
You probably won't concede it, and I might be able to drag it out of you, but you seem to have some balance issues tonight and went over on those ankles a couple of times.
I couldn't move my feet, and then when I did move my feet back, I rolled my ankle. I've got dodgy ankles anyway, haven't I? So, like, it's just fucking one of them things. But no, Chris was the better man tonight. After I shout when I win, I'll take my defeat when I lose.
What do you want to do next? I mean, that makes it 1-1.
Yeah, of course, obviously. I think everyone knows. I think Chris knows how I was with the weight. You know, to say it at the weigh-in, and you know, after the injury, I come down 3 stone. So it's a lot of weight to shift in a short space of time. But that's all I can put my finger on. You know, I was flat as they come from the get-go. Couldn't move my feet, and Chris was sharp early on. So fair play to him.
Commiserations.
Next one, mate.
I want to I wish I could know the pay-per-view buys between this fight and the first fight. Wish I could know. Yo, he said he had to come down 3 stone in weight for this fight. This fight took place at 160 pounds. He's saying he's had to come down 42 pounds. 42 pounds? What was he doing? What was he doing? So anyway, I didn't really get a chance to talk about the news of Errol Spence activating his rematch clause to take on Terence Crawford. And from my understanding, it's supposed to happen in December. I wouldn't be surprised if they push it to January, February. But from my understanding, from what I remember, in the contract, from what we've heard about the contract and the fighters speak about, and people in the circle of the fighters, it's supposed to be in December. Yeah, Liam Smith's hair has always been great. What up, Donnell? I do feel that once we get closer to the fight, there will be some buzz. As it stands right now, I don't see a reason for a rematch with the way it went. Terence Crawford controls if the fight happens at 154 or 147. I believe it's going to happen at 154, so Crawford can say, look, no excuses, I beat him at 154 too. Crawford's talking about moving up to 168. During the media workout, we were here streaming for Terence Crawford in the UFC Performance Center in Vegas. He was saying, I won't go to 168 to fight Canelo, but I will fight him at 160. Now, you have to think, I think it makes perfect sense for both of the fighters to entertain the fight and see what the buzz is around it. And Terence Crawford is a different type of fighter. You know, we've seen this. If you watch his career all the way from the Top Ring TV days, you can just tell he was a different type of fighter. A fighter that if he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it, or he's going to try his damn well best to make it happen. And thus far, he has done everything he said he's going to do. So if he's presented with a Canelo fight, and Canelo's got to beat Jermell Charlo on September the 30th, we're going to be here for that. And I got to be honest, I'm giving Jermell Charlo a chance. I don't consider Canelo a 168-pounder. He just masquerades around there because the guys, you know, look who he beat at 168 to become champion, even if you go all the way back to Rocky Fielding. So he's a 160-pound fighter masquerading at 168, in my personal opinion. And then Sergey Kovalev at 175, coming off of a fight earlier, he had and he's a scumbag. I told you I almost had to fuck Sergey Kovalev up once. I was gonna beat him down. So we almost got into some shit in New York. So he had a vodka in his belly, and he's a no good woman beater, and the dog, he's degenerate animal. Okay. So Canelo beating up Sergey Kovalev, it was somewhat impressive, but it wasn't a prime Kovalev. But then again, what is a prime Kovalev? It wasn't a Kovalev that a lot of people felt beat Andre Ward. He had a lot of shit going on. So it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, in my opinion, with Canelo's resume at 168 and above. And depending on how you rate Caleb Plant, seems like a cool guy. Charismatic dude. You know, he's got some appeal to sell some pay-per-views, but I was never high on Caleb Plant, ever. And I never considered Jose Uzcategui a boogeyman. That's how Caleb Plant really got over the hump, and people started, you know, hyping him up. So when I look at Jermell Charlo moving up to 168, I don't consider Canelo to be the bigger fighter. But only time will tell. So I do feel that Errol Spence has a really uphill battle to try to beat Terence Crawford in a rematch at 154, because what is he going to do differently? He's always been that fighter. Jab, jab, left, You know, yeah, he's got some nice body punches, but no real razzle-dazzle that we've really seen like in that first fight. And if you look at it, he was a level and 2 levels above his previous competition. That when he brought that to a fighter that was obviously now better than him, or going into the fight a lot of people felt was equal or on the same level, then he just got exposed. He looked like shit. You know, like he looked, you know, like he didn't belong in there. It was nothing he could do. And he tried his heart out. And, you know, big balls to take that rematch, because it's hard for me to believe that his team and PBC and Al Heyman and even Showtime wanted him to take that rematch. Because for one, pay-per-view buys money. The way he got beat, how you got to climb. You got to push that boulder up the hill to tell the fans why you should spend money for these tickets. Why you should come this time. Why you should buy this fight again for $89.99 on pay-per-view. After we've been getting smacked around with pay-per-views all year. Oh, but damn, I saw this guy get beat the fuck up. Y'all said he was the truth. And you're telling me to spend $89.99 again? Why? You know, so it's an uphill battle. After Canelo, Charlo, they're going to likely start pushing the next pay-per-view. Supposed to be like David Benavidez, right? David Benavidez and Demetrius Andrade. That's how they do that. Wait till about 2 weeks after a pay-per-view's over, and then they'll start the wheel back over again. So they're going to start pumping out David Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade. What's their November pay-per-view supposed to be? So what's their November pay-per-view supposed to be? And then, of course, you got Tank Davis got to return. Now, what they can do for Spence Crawford 2, or Crawford Spence 2, excuse me, they can tell Keith Thurman, listen, you don't got that same marketability that you used to have. You don't bring in the numbers that you used to because you always injured or you don't fight. It's time for you to, you know, bite the bullet and get on this undercard. I understand, but we don't got the money to put you on pay-per-view, Keith Thurman. And against who? Now, whose fault is that? That's the boxing economy, who promised these fighters all this money before, and now the market, the money's dried up. So, let me check and see what my food here. Hold on, I ordered some Chinese. Got to make sure I don't miss it because I got these headphones on here. So they got to stack up the undercard now, or instead of trying to put Erislandy Lara versus Danny Garcia on the card, talk to them two motherfuckers and say, hey, listen, Erislandy Lara, you don't move no numbers. Danny Garcia, you the man, but you ain't moving no numbers no more either, and you've been losing all your big fights. Y'all two should try to build your name back up again, get on this Crawford Spence 2 undercard, and then boom, go for there. Remember, you got Ugas coming back from a pay-per-view, fighting Mario Barrios on the undercard of Canelo and Charlo. It's like either get on these undercards or these more, like these bigger fights with more interest, or you just got to sit out. You just got to sit out. Lara versus Garcia is an undercard fight, but they don't think they undercard fighters anymore. These fighters, man, like, you know, and I'm trying to say it this way. I'm not saying these two fighters, but overall athletes are known not to be the, you know, the most financially savvy of people. You know, and they letting the clock run and run and run and run and run. And it's like, yo, all these guys are in their 30s now. You know, Chris Eubank Jr. is 33 years old. You know, guys that we used to look at as like kids, watching, oh, he's just a young guy. You know, you got a guy like Adrian Broner, 33. There's some shit like that. These motherfuckers ain't kids no more. They waiting around. Andy Ruiz thinking that he can get $10 million a fight. Fighting who? Where? Where's that coming from? So he's sitting out. You know, they got to get with the program. Got to get with the program. So it's going to be hard from my side, from a media side, just like, okay, all right, all of us YouTubers, in some way, shape, or form, good or bad, lies, clickbait, we're all promoting the fight. All of us. All the YouTubers in some way, us getting on here, we're telling people about the fight. So what is there to talk about? You know, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to try to find ways Spence can win. It's like, he's at a healthier weight. By the way, did y'all notice the Spence fans, the ones who was really, really like deep into it, they starting to climb out. They starting to come out their graves. They've had a very, very difficult 5 weeks. You know, Errol Spence was a lot of boxing fans' world. So to see him just like not just get dominated, but get beat up and beat down, that hurt a lot of people. I've seen like breakdowns, like on like social media breakdowns. I'm just scrolling. I'm like, oh, you know, in the bed, like she be like, she be like, can you turn the brightness on your phone down? And I'd be like, oh. Remember I was telling you I was gonna be covering the Errol Spence fight? Remember you said your uncle? He got beat up. You know, then the memes, he got memed to smithereens. And you know, that was one of his worst fears. Errol Spence on the first episode of All Access said that when he fought Ugas, he was scared that his teeth was gonna fall out because Ugas hit him so hard. Remember he turned around, he thought his teeth had fell out. But in this case, he was like, yeah, I ain't want to be no meme. But he was getting it bad. Like when the photos came out, they thought they were CGI. You know, they was like, they told me, like, you doctoring images, you bum, you know, you nerd ass. And I'm like, yo, these are the fucking official images, you know? People were saying like he didn't look good. They were saying it's because he was smoking weed, or there was weed in the crowd and it got into his lungs. Somebody tried to say, you know, he was drugged. He just got beat up. It's like, it's okay. You know, it happens in fighting. It's got beat up. You know, but he's got the balls to go back up in there. That's for sure. You know, because shit. And I gotta imagine, like, if I'm his team, I'm gonna steer him away from him. I'm like, look, take a tune up, or listen, champ, like, you know, you still the truth. It was a really, really bad night. But let's go back and rebuild shit. Let's go back and rebuild things. And then if that Crawford fight is still out there in the future, we'll try to pursue it. Knowing damn well if you're the manager of a team, you're not gonna pursue that shit again. But you'll tell him, like, let's just go back and, you know, and dial it back. And remember, PBC, they've been talking about it. It's been out there. You know, wanted him to fight Keith Thurman. Even Spence mentioned it at one point in time. You know, but Errol Spence, you got to give him credit. My bad, I got Payback on the WWE Payback on in the background on Peacock TV. But remember, like, they wanted to keep it in-house. You know, Spence, you got to give him credit because he said when he first woke up from his accident, Al Heyman was right there. It was his parents, and then he saw Al Heyman, and he was like, I want to fight Terence Crawford. And he held to his word. He took no tune-up. He didn't have Keith Thurman forced on him. He said, I want to fight Terence Crawford. And I feel that he always wanted to fight Terence Crawford, but from a business standpoint, he had to get the belts from his side of the street. And why would they send a Danny Garcia or a Sean Porter or a Yordenis Ugas over to ESPN for Terence Crawford before they fight? Now, I can understand Terence Crawford's stance because he was being paid really, really well, guaranteed money over on ESPN. He was making a lot of money for just fighting on ESPN and not pay-per-view. But PBC was ruling the 147-pound division. If you want to ask me, me personally, he never really wanted to be a Al Heyman PBC fighter. Now, he's a PBC fighter, and he is an Al Heyman fighter through PBC. But from my understanding, he's not an Al Heyman fighter. You see what I'm saying? So you got shit like this, right? they'd be like, well, you know, Al Heyman wins anyway in the end. It's like, okay, but yeah, motherfucker, you're an Errol Spence fan. Don't try to hit me with that bullshit. You know? They'd be like, yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, like Al Heyman, they're just about putting on events. Like, it's like, you motherfucker, get out here with that shit. You want to cry. Fuck out of here. But no, in reality, though, it feels like it's like some cashing out going on because a lot of these dudes are losing, man, and they're getting older, and you're wondering, like, who's the next guy? All these guys are on their last legs. Wilder's one, maybe 2 fights away from being done. Keith Thurman don't fight. The Charlos are getting up there now. Spence, look, he might be cooked. You got Boots Ennis, yeah. You got Tank Davis. I expect for Tank Davis to be babied and coddled for even further. And even though I'm a Tank Davis fan, he's right there. I haven't really got a chance to really think, but he's probably my #1 fighter of this generation, this current like generation right now that I actually enjoy fighting. And it's like, you know, like I'm going to support all of his shit. But that Eastside Cruz fight, I don't want to see that shit. Mostly because Eastside Cruz hasn't been doing nothing. He don't deserve no fight. And I want him to get beat the fuck up. Sorry, I'm just saying. So go ahead, I understand. My Chicano brothers, for those who don't know, I identify as half black, half full-blooded Chicano, and half Irish. So a lot of times, you know, I'm always stuck in between, you know, my ethnicities and like racial struggles because they say, how you going to defend, how you going to go against your Mexican brother? And then on the black side, they be like, how you going to go against, you know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? But no, in this case of Eastside Cruz, like I want him to go to sleep. Like I want him to get beat down. And I don't want him to be long term. I want him to be knocked out early, embarrassed, because what they've been doing with him, having him, and Frank Martin said it the best. Like they've been doing the bare minimum with him for him to get a rematch with Tank Davis. I don't like it. I don't like it. And by the way, I think Cabrera won. I don't think I do that. I don't remember. I got to watch the fight. I can't stand Pitbull Cruz. I can't. If Tank is my favorite fighter right now, Eastside Cruz, I hate you, Eastside Cruz. I hate you. How about that? And hate is a strong word. I don't care. I don't hate you, Eastside Cruz, but I hate you, Eastside Cruz. Fucking make me sick, man. Makes me sick. I'm waiting for my Chinese food. It's going to be here in a couple of minutes. I'm supposed to be streaming video games tomorrow morning. That's how I'm supposed to be doing my Sundays. And I got to paint my door. 2 doors. But anyway, what's going on? What's new out there? Yeah, I'm waiting for my Chinese food, so I'm not trying to get to go to the next topic yet before my food gets here. It says it'll be here at 9:18. It's 9:18 now. Between 9:18 and 9:28. But yeah, what's the marquee fight for next week? Let me see here. We got Big Dan's schedule. Let's go look at the schedule real quick. You know who looked like she'd beat you the fuck up? Lauren Price. You ever see her shoulders, mate? Like, bro. Hot Rod returns. Okay. Ew, what is this? Ew, what is that? Ew. What the hell is that? I don't know who none of these people are. Lord, okay, I've seen these names before, but it's like, you know, back in the day, if this was like 10 years ago, I'd be covering all of this shit. Like, I've sat through some shit. Okay. Abduliev is back. Ew, do y'all see something? Okay, so basically next week is a dead week in boxing. ain't nothing of no real note until the 15th when you have Joet Gonzalez is always getting title shots. What's this, like his third now? Or is his fourth? Bless him. Xander Zayas is moving his way up in the 154-pound rankings. He's like 2 fights away, if not 1, from an eliminator. Robson Contecal returns. Emiliano Vargas. This is a nice little, you know, little Chicano card. Okay. This is, you know, nice little like build-up card, you know, showcase type card. Joey Dueco, ew, what is up with this September first half of the month? Zabeta versus Golden Boy. Love them some Marcito Gesta. They always slapping him in the main event. When Zabeta, it's time for him to step up. For real. Like, big step up. You got poor tension on this card. Okay. From Japan early in the morning. I might get up for this. Kenshiro Taraji versus Heki Butler. Junto Nakatani versus, what does that say? I got to split my screen. RG Cortez and tension, poor tension. That's the dude who fought Mayweather. Mayweather made him cry. He punched him in his stomach. Poor tension. Okay. Is that my food? Hold on. I think my food's outside. Give me 1 minute. Oh, my food's outside. Went to get my food. All right, we good now. All right, we good, right on time. Yeah, this boxing schedule, god damn it. Hold on, tell me I got it. Hold on. All right. Yeah, so this boxing schedule, September the 23rd, you got Big Bang CCP Zheli Zhang taking on Joe Joyce. That's the rematch. Boom, that's a good card. You got Anthony Yarde returning against a Ricky Summers. Zach Parker's on this joint. Okay, so September the 23rd, that's the next real solid night of boxing. You know, solid day of boxing. Richardson Hitchens versus Jose Cepeda. I like that fight. Jessica McCaskill versus Sandy Ryan. Jessica McCaskill a couple of weeks ago said some weirdo dickhead shit. And then she had to apologize for it. She basically insinuated that Matchroom had contaminated Alicia Baumgartner's sample because Alicia Baumgartner contract was up. So they're like, you know what? Basically saying that Matchroom hired somebody or had somebody. You're like, you know what? You're going to try to leave us. We're going to make sure we taint your name. Sprinkle some shit into her piss or her blood. Sprinkle some steroids. Like, bro, come on. So she's fighting Sandy Ryan. It may be her last fight with Matchroom. All right. Austin Elmo Williams versus Steve Rolls. Nice solid card. Okay, I like this card. So you got 2 good cards that I'm digging on September the 21st. Zheli Zhang versus Joe Joyce. Boom, 2, the rematch. Hitchens versus Cepeda. McCaskill versus Sandy Ryan. I really like this fight. Okay. Featuring Austin Elmo Williams versus Steve Rolls. Steve Rolls fought Golovkin, so, you know. What else? And then September the 30th, Canelo versus Charlo, Jesus Ramos versus Erickson Lubin, Yordenis Ugas versus Mario Barrios, and Elijah Garcia versus Armando Resendez. That's a beautiful card. Jayo Pataya, who bullshit fight he's returning to. Jordan Thompson got a nice name, but he's nowhere near on the level of Jayo Pataya. Me and Big J are going to be talking about that fight, covering that fight, and I'm not really interested in that main event or this card, period, outside of we got a nice little stranglehold on boxing in Australia. So because of Jayo Pataya, we're going to cover the card. Carol, you know, so basically September is It's like, yeah, you know? It's a little bullshit. It's a little bullshit. So what I'm going to do, what else did I miss? I know I missed some news somewhere. And you know what? I've been trying to give Alicia Baumgartner like a real chance to like try to convince us, the people, you know, because our voice is important, that she ain't have nothing to do with that shit. But I haven't been convinced. I haven't been convinced. You know, and I'm not no scientist, and I wasn't trying to act like I was some internet scientist, but I have not been convinced. I want to believe she ain't do nothing, but it's looking bad. It's looking real bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up out of here. I'm probably going to be playing some video games on my TstreeT Uncut channel tomorrow. I got all these PlayStation games sitting over here that I never play, mostly because I'd be like, you know what, you should stream. I brought all this streaming shit to play video games, and I haven't been doing it. Or I might be streaming later on. We might talk about something else, you know, maybe some world news topics, like how our politicians are old as shit. You know, it's like, what are we doing? Like, get these old people into some homes, some fucking Centrum Silver. You know, KSI versus Tommy Fury. You've been seeing what's been going on with Logan Paul's wife. I didn't know who none of these people are, but I just keep seeing the pictures of her with all these different dudes, and I'm just like, bro, what the fuck is going on? You know. But all right, we'll see you guys later. Take your time out, like the video, subscribe. Thanks for watching.